know what time it is. Why? I like to introduce the song. Bow, ha, and present to many. Ha, Carolina Panthers. T1, let go.
There we go again. You know we about to show out, cause we know we gon' win. We ready for the kickout, so go on, let us in, so we can hit the end zone and show you how we dance. Black, blue, silver, white, black, blue. Yeah, black, blue, silver, white, black, blue. Yeah. Game face on, ready for whatever. Rain, sleet, snow, go through any weather. We gon' play to win, as long as we together. We gon' take it out, cause ain't nobody better. Heart of a champ, mind of a winner. All we do is win, that's the anthem. Show up to your city and make a lot of noise, and they be like, who that? Yeah, we be going hard, and we be going strong. We known everywhere, cause we be putting on. Losing on condone that, point blank period. Shut the league down, cause it is that serious. There we go again. You know we bout to show out, cause we know we gon' win. We ready for the kickout, so go on, let us in, so we can hit the end zone and show you how we dance. Black, blue, silver, white, black, blue. Yeah, black, blue, silver, white, black, blue. We gon' get it. Yo.
What's going on, Panther Nation? This is your host, the Black Cat. We have a wonderful show today. We're going to finish off talking about the draft. We had quite a draft, let's just say it like that. And we have some clips for Dave Gettleman and just giving a little bit of insight on what he had to say. So everybody that watched the draft, we talked about the first round last week. About the Butler pick. And to be honest, I was a little heated when we first talked about it and everything. I looked at some footage and I started thinking, and I'm trying to talk myself into that pick because it could be a potential great decision. I mean, we're going to be loaded at defensive tackle, so it could be a great decision. So we'll see about that. I really, really hope that it is a good decision because even if I've heard some rumblings about talking about, on third down, maybe having KK maybe play in or Vernon Butler play in, and mix and match. And we'll have a lot of different ways that we can be creative with those players. So it could hopefully it'll be somewhat of a good pick. The one thing that I'm trying to keep on telling myself is that Dave Gettleman really hasn't let us down so far. So I'm trying to give him a little extension of trust because he's done a very, very good job so far. But the rest of the draft was a little bit questioning because I still see our biggest need, in my opinion, is defensive end. So it was just a little bit of surprise to me that we picked three cornerbacks. I mean, not just three cornerbacks, but three back-to-back cornerbacks. I really am not. I've said this before, but this year has been crazy to me because I'm not seeing where he's coming from. Because I'm praying that all of them makes the team because I know they care about 5 cornerbacks on the team, so they'll probably make it. 5 or 6 cornerbacks on the team, so they'll probably make it. But at the same time, we just brought in Boykin, which I thought that he was going to be a really valuable piece to our defense, and I'm hoping he can actually make the squad now because I actually like him. We drafted Barry, Sanchez, and Wardley. I think that those were the 3 guys' name, and it wasn't in that order. But I started studying some tape and everything on them. Now, the one person that gets me a little bit excited that I think has the chance to grow to be the better one. And he was drafted last. He was drafted in 5th round, and that's Sanchez. He has incredible ball skills, so I will give them that. But from everything that I've read and what I've actually seen, some of the tape that I've seen on BlackBerry is that it wasn't that impressive. And I've read that he could have gone in the 3rd to 4th round, and we took him in the 2nd. It says something to me when he's only had a couple of visits. Actually, I think that Carolina was the only team that actually brought him in. So that says a lot to me that, you could have probably got him a little later. So let's just hear what Dave Gettleman had to say about drafting those 3 cornerbacks.
Yeah, trade yesterday. Again, we just felt Sanchez was too good a value. He's again another corner with ball skills. He's got good. He's a heck of an athlete. He can run. All 3 of these guys can carry the vertical, which is important, obviously. And he's instinctive. He's smart, and yes, he's a gambler. Okay, he's got it. Sometimes, like the basketball player that scores 25 and his guy gets 18, I'll take it. He's, we had him in again. He's another 30 visit guy. I'll tell you guys right now, every single one of these guys we had in. Yeah, we had in every single one of these guys, just so you know, for your information. We had Zach in. We had a good, solid visit, with him. He's smart. He'll learn it. One of the things that, we really focus on is intelligence. Can they learn it? Ron and his staff, their fannies are on the line every Sunday. So at the end of the day, we're not bringing in dumb guys. I'm not going to do it. I don't care how talented they are, because by the time they figure it out, Ron and I get fired. So so Zach is smart. All these guys are smart. We thoroughly, Bo went through to get Bo at the end of the draft. Was a nice deal.
All right, he talked about drafting those cornerbacks. Now, he did say we drafted we brought in 5 cornerbacks, and we did select 3 of those cornerbacks into the draft that we brought in. Now, one thing I will give Dave Gettleman, he is a brutally honest person. Like, I've never seen nothing like it. And I'll in a bit I'll play a little something else he had to say. But he's very upfront with you. He's very truthful. He told us from the beginning he's a big, huge hog molly person, and that showed with the pick Vernon Butler. We really, really need help at defensive end. I know we got Mario Addison. He's a average player. Everybody at defensive end we have is either average or below average. The only person that I have that I think that has the potential to be more and be very, very special is Coney Ely. But those defensive tackles we got big defensive tackles, physical defensive tackles, that maybe they can make our defensive ends a little bit better, because maybe, Vernon Butler and KK, that might be a deadly combination where nobody can block them, because you're going to have to double team them. And David Gettleman said that it was just a shock that he was still there, because obviously I've looked at tape. He is a very good player, but at the same time, we know what our needs are. But sometimes I don't think he's just thinking about right now, because as a coach, you're just trying to win right now. But as a general manager, you're trying to have, sustain winning seasons. you're trying to be good for a long time, have a franchise that's good, that's known for winning. And that's what I think David Gettleman is trying to do right now, because if you look at his picks, Vernon Butler, the reason that, and like I told you last week, the reason that he rescinded Josh Norman's contract and not try to get a long-term extension, he's thinking about KK. I guarantee you, we're gonna sign KK, because we already got Star Latulele for next year anyway, because we used a fifth-year option. So he's thinking, if we sign KK, if Star, which I'm praying that we can sign both, because if Star wants more money than we can actually pay, we have Vernon Butler for 3-4 more years, and we still have a good tag team interior. We're gonna have a crazy good pass rush up in the middle, and I really understand a little bit more than how it was on draft night, because I was really kind of heated for the defensive line. But as far as the cornerbacks, I can see one cornerback being here 2-3 years from now. And that's where I have a problem with, because we had potentials to grab all sorts of play. I mean, we need a defensive end. I'm sorry, we need a defensive end. We needed a safety. But I will say, we brought in 7 undrafted free agents, and we got safety in the name of, I think his last name is Cash. Johnny Cash. I'm not sure exactly what his first name is. I have to look that up. But this guy, he was actually like, injuries and everything took him back. And I know they always have a story about players getting injured. If they wouldn't have got injured and all this kind of stuff, they would have been a higher pick and everything. So I'm not going to go down that road. But from what I hear is, this is a very, very, he was one of the best safeties in college football last year, and injuries just set him back after setback after setback. He even went to the combine where, injuries, he got injured right before the combine, so he couldn't even work out. So I'm actually really excited about that, because if he is as good as what people may predict him to be, this guy had like 20 teams, I think they said, that actually was trying to request for his services. So if he was that good, as what, he molds himself after, he said his favorite player to watch, he tried to mold himself after Cam Chancellor. If he can be a small version of that, that will be great for our team, but we don't know, so. And we also had another signing that I thought was interesting. It's a wide receiver. And he actually led the league in college football, led college football in interceptions last year. In touchdowns last year and receiving yards. So, to me personally, if you're that good, I don't see why you didn't get drafted. So that's a little bit of a different story than Cash is. Let's just see. I'm gonna play a clip of more Dave Gettleman. He's talking about. He's just like I said. He's a very, very honest person. This is why I respect him. Just listen to this.
You don't want to do that. And it's legit that we've been rotating players through there since I got here. And, you don't want to do that. You want to have a core, and what is that sound? Well, I'm sorry, I apologize, it's me. You obviously want to have stability. Like we've done with the we'll have with the offensive line now, and obviously we've had with the linebackers, and now with the wide receiving group, we fixed that. So you want stability. And I think all 3 of these young kids are talented enough to play in this league. and we feel like a couple of them have a chance to be really good players. So that's one of the reasons we went with 3 guys, and it was the value. You know, you talk about value, and we talk about it all the time, and they were too good to pass up. And that's where we're at. You know, our rookie mini camp will be in 2 weeks. We've signed some guys. Some guys after the draft. I'm not in a rush to get to 90. That's a philosophical thing. I'm not going to sign a guy just to sign a guy. You know, we've targeted as the draft ends. Really, actually, probably the top of the 7th. What we do is we have a preferred free agent list, and that starts with the guys that we felt were draftable, and then we have the preferred free agents. So we slide them all up, put them in order, and there's a ton of names on the backboard, and there's 3 levels of the backboard. And once we get the front board list set up, we don't go to that backboard again.
All right, so like I said, he's brutally honest. He was basically talking about Josh Norman's situation a little bit, and to me, it's funny, but it's not funny. I think, and you'll notice by a little bit of his comments and everything, is that, I'm not sure if I have that clip, but when he was talking about Nnamdi Asomugha, and Nnamdi Asomugha, when he was in Oakland, he was great, press corner and everything like that, and he got him out of his comfort zone when he went to Philadelphia, and he was horrible. And that was the part that I really, really loved about, like I said, Dave Gettleman, he's really honest. But also, I think that was a shot at Josh Norman. Now, I could be wrong, but, you draft 3 cornerbacks, and basically you're saying one of these guys can do what your job was. That's basically what you're saying. And then you talk about, players going from a scheme that fits them into something that doesn't really fit them. So then they're out of place. People start talking about them and everything like that. And that, to be honest, that makes a fair point. Nobody knows what Josh Norman can do right now. He's being paid like a big like big time. He's being paid big time right now. But nobody knows what he can do without being in Carolina's system. Washington, they're going to ask you to play a lot more man. So we are going to see if he's going to be able to handle that. But I personally think that was a shot at Josh Norman to be like, you think that you're the best and all this kind of stuff. Well, we made you type stuff. That's what I'm perceiving. Now, I'm probably wrong, but that's just a little bit of what I think. Because he stayed on talking, especially when it came to cornerback, he stayed on talking about, players going out of different schemes. And there's one thing that he said, which, like I said, I think Dave Gettleman is awesome for this, because like a lot of players, a lot of owners, a lot of GMs or coaches, whatever, they wouldn't say this, but there are players that don't fit my scheme, yes. But then are certain players that aren't smart enough to fit it. And that's something that people don't talk about a lot, because like you said, if you have a quarterback that, and I'm not saying anybody's dumb, but if you have a quarterback that can't comprehend stuff or pick up stuff in a fast pace, that will, take you back. If you have an offensive lineman, which he's made the point, if you have an offensive lineman that is as dumb as a rock, your quarterback, your running backs, they won't have a job because they'll be hurt. It's incredible that he is that honest and that upfront, and I appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, it's he makes good points, and I know that he knows what he's doing and everything, but I still have to point out the fact that about not addressing our bigger needs. Like I said, cornerback was a need. I agree on that. Cornerback was a need, but 3 back-to-back is kind of a stretch. Which this draft, I can honestly say he, in his mind at least, he was drafting best player available. Now, like I said, with the Bradbury pick, I wouldn't have picked him there. But we'll see. We'll see where that lands. I got one more clip for y'all that I thought that would actually be pretty cool. Just listen to this.
There's some really talented guys that just don't fit us. And there's some really talented guys that aren't smart enough to fit us either. Because that's a big part of it. The intelligence, the ability to learn. There are certain positions where you don't need to split an atom. But, you take an offensive lineman who's dumb, your quarterback's going to end up in a hospital, and maybe 2 or 3 different ones. You can't, you have to look at the whole package. So I don't worry about the pundits. I don't.
All right, and see, that was just, like I said, I'm a big person when it comes to being upfront, being honest. I mean, don't, like with the Rams, don't say, oh, we don't know who we're going to pick. If you don't want to tell us, that's fine. But don't say, you traded all the way up there and you think we're stupid enough to believe that you don't know who you're going to pick. I love honesty. Don't play us as a fool or anything like that. Like I said, you don't have to tell us, but don't just flat out lie. Like that's just me, Well, I'm going to be writing a few articles on my website, and what we're going to do in the next few weeks is we're going to break down. It's going to be on my website, but then on the show, we're actually going to break down, all the different positions. For the next few weeks, we're going to break down the quarterbacks. We're going to break down the offensive players. We're going to break down everything to really give a dive in deep on what our roster is going to look like. When the season kicks off. This has been really, really fun. It's been, I love the draft. It was full of surprises. Free agency, I don't expect us to make a big trade or anything soon or anything like that. But basically we have the same team that we had last year. We added a few more parts to it. So I don't really see us taking a huge step back. But like I said, we need to really address, unless somebody's going to come out of nowhere, unless Delaire or, somebody's going to come out of nowhere and actually, give us that extra spark. That's a spot that I can see us being in trouble. But yeah, it's been fun. The last couple weeks has been up and down roller coaster of a ride. So we're gonna get out of here. It's about 25 minutes in. I'm gonna try not to, especially when I'm starting out, and especially in the off season. Maybe in the regular season it might be maybe an hour or so. But I'm going to try to keep these under 30 minutes because we're at like 25 right now. And you can find me on Facebook at Brandon Herbert. You can find me on Twitter at Panther Nation 28. You can actually, that's my website. You can look up my articles, and you can find the podcast on my website at PantherNation28.com. I like to thank, like I've said last week, the C3 podcast. You can look, their website is catchronicles.com. Look it up. It's really good stuff. And yeah. So I guess we'll see you next week around the same time, Panther Nation. And remember, if you're not a Panthers fan, you're not a fan at all.
Y'all know what time it is. Why? I like to introduce the song. Bow, ha, and present to many. Ha, Carolina.